Hello there, Albie-Wan here, playing some Power Wash Simulator and glass cleaning. I'm Dave Angel with Glass Cleaner because
Hello,
why
everybody. We're blast cleaning.
blast glass cleaning.
Blast cleaning.
Yeah, got the glass cleaning chemicals on spraying in your eyes. Did you not?
Oh, okay.
Did
That's
you
all
not
right. That's okay.
notice? Did you not notice that your eyes were stinging?
No, no, I didn't, to be honest. But
It's because I
I'm not.
failed to use it. I failed
I'm.
to use it. It wouldn't let me. That'll be why.
Damn it.
How did she change the?
Curses.
I'm trying to work out how to actually. Oh, there it is. Yeah, glass cleaner. No, it's not letting me use it.
It doesn't let you use any detergent on these, I think.
Still, spraying water in your eyes must sting a bit with the pressure of it. So how the devil
Yeah,
are
you'd
we?
say, wouldn't you? We are splendid. Thank you very much.
We are. Pardon me.
Today last night I realigned one of the guitar necks on one of my guitars because it was out of line. I
Yeah.
put the bridge back in the place where it's supposed to be because it had been moved for some strange reason. Um, so I've got another guitar to restring and set up tomorrow. So always a fun.
Nice.
Do I know how to party or what?
Or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Very
dear.
much, very much a part of the or what camp there.
Oh hello. I'm all what?
Who, me, the 13th Duke of or what?
Huh.
Washing down a Thunderhawk at 2 o'clock in the morning. In my reputation.
Marzipan. Da, 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 da. Clean, damn you. Right, okay, I'm going to need to get some altitude.
You have to get some attitude,
Altitude.
platitude.
Yeah.
Are you doing some crazy parkour shit again?
Yeah, crazy. Parkour. Shit.
You love your crazy parkour shit. We know you do.
I'm sure there is a way up onto this thing. I just can't remember what it was. I haven't played this one for a while.
Yeah, it's a thing called a ladder.
Water? Water?
Ladder.
Water? Water?
Or water.
Water?
What?
Water?
In Mallorca, that tastes quite what it ought to. The water in Mallorca doesn't taste quite how it should.
Bloody disgraceful.
Yeah,
We should sue.
absolutely.
Should sue. Oh, what am I getting
And
crashed?
what's Sue got to do with it?
She was looking after Sweep at the time.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, that all that ruckus about bleeding, about Sooty in the lift.
Uh,
He stopped the lift at ITV, didn't he?
did
When there
he?
was a young lady in there with him, and he turned the emergency stop on, got his wand out, and said, "Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy."
Yikes. See, never meet your heroes. That's what they always
No,
say.
you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed.
Yeah.
And if not, I'll keep trying.
Must try harder.
Yes. Far too sensible.
Fart who? Sensible? What? So, seen anything interesting? Any new interesting programs or films of late?
I I've still got the final episode of SAS Rogue Heroes to watch,
Mm.
season two, which has been um quite sobering
Roguish.
and very funny in places and very, very dark in others. So I would probably say, if you like that kind of thing that does shine a a magnifying glass on the minutiae of war, then I think you might actually really enjoy Rogue Heroes
Mm.
because it
What?
does talk. It's
Woke
a lot.
heroes? Woke heroes.
They're woke heroes, yes, not woke heroes.
No, not woke. God, I hate
No,
it.
they'll be the
I
ones
hate
that
the
keep
use of
taking
that
the
word.
knee every time they
Really
go
hate
into a
when
battle.
people use that fucking word. It's like it's like Princess Bride. It's like, oh, that's woke. It's like, I do not think that means what you think it means. You say that a lot. It is appropriate, isn't it? It's like you say that a lot. I do not think it means quite what you think it means. Oh my god! It's when people use it as an insult. It's like you're insulting someone for being considerate for other people's beliefs, opinions, feelings. It's like, and I bet you half the people who say it are probably religious themselves. And like I say, it's like, so what? So if someone doesn't believe the things you want them to believe, does that or criticizes your stuff, and you get upset about it, does that make you woke for believing things that other people don't believe? Oh, it's just fucking annoying. It's so stupid. I really hate the English language sometimes. I just do. It's just when people repurpose perfectly ordinary, innocent words for something stupid and then use it as a malicious act like that. Fuck that shit. I just haven't got time for it.
Yep, absolutely. There
Yeah.
was a, if you go back to the 80s, there was a very, very opinionated American comedian called Bill Hicks,
Mm-hmm.
um, who was very sort of, he had very, very strong opinions and all sorts of different things like pro-life, and he was very, 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 very heavy on religions. They were all considered, he considered them all fair game, put it that way.
Mm.
And some he was coming out of one particular venue one night, and there was this guy that must have been about 6'5" and full of like full of pith and vinegar. And he went, "Oi, funny man! Oi, Mister Funny Man! I don't know what you said about my religion. Is it what you're a Christian? Well, yeah, of course." He said, "Okay, well then forgive me." And yes, I think it kind of it fits quite well for the woke thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh dear. Now, during our stream, our quiz stream, Shell
Twisted
mentioned
him.
Shell mentioned that she hasn't seen Snatch. Does that mean you've not seen it either?
I've
From your
seen
perspective.
Snatch.
Okay, so okay, just Shell then. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how have you allowed her to like go this far without experiencing that film for this long this length of time?
It's one of those things where if the film doesn't interest, then just will not register anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a question of it doesn't have enough sorry, vampire detectives in it. It's not gonna register. So
That's
that's a
fair.
private joke.
It's fair.
Um, Mrs. Angel, she really likes. She used to like this TV series called Forever Night, where it was
Quite dark.
an 11th century. Uh, he was brought across in 1228, 13th century. Yeah, 13th century. 13th century vampire who was a modern day night cop in was it supposed to be New York or Canada? Toronto. There we go.
It was close.
Yeah,
New
and
York or Canada? Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
close
it
enough.
right.
Close enough for
Get it right. Come
disco.
on. Yeah. Now, there was a book or actually a pair of books that I read, which sound very similar to that, where it was a detective. It was went by name. I think it was Merrick or something like that. I think it was Rulers of Darkness was the first one, and
Okay.
he was like a vampire, but he was choosing not to pursue the vampiric sort of style, and obviously made his own arrangements for how he actually acquired blood rather than actually straight from the source. Um,
Yes, yes.
and there was like another one that he was chasing, but he was like a detective or a police officer. Um, and of course, the antics ensued.
Well, yes, and it all unfolded with a tedious inevitability.
Yeah, it was quite good. I quite enjoyed the book, but like I say, I read it a long time ago, so I might not enjoy.
What
I
was the
might
book called?
Rulers of Darkness. It's probably quite hard to get hold of nowadays. If I've still got it, I'll have to have a check and see if I've still got it. Because I've given a lot of books away to charity, and I've sold quite a few at car boot sale. But if I've still got it, and the sequel, which was Daughter of Darkness, I could probably get it over to you if you should desire. 'Cause I know
I'm sure Mrs. Angel would appreciate that. Mrs. Angel, are you aware of a book? What's it called? Lords of Darkness,
Rulers of Darkness, and there was a sequel.
Rulers of Darkness.
It was by an author. I've not heard anything else of the author. His name was Stephen Spruill.
Stephen Scroll.
Spruil or double L, I
But
think it was
she is not
Spruill.
familiar with the name.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know if he wrote very many books. He wrote that, and he wrote the follow up. I hadn't heard of him since, or seen anything of him since. So probably didn't make it big if he made it at all, or it may have been someone else's pen name. Who knows? But I'll have to have a look around and see if I can still find it. Because, like I say, I have given quite a lot of books to charity shops and like, and we did sell quite a lot at car boot sale a couple of years back. So
Yeah,
I may not have it anymore, but I'll have a dig around and see if I
that's
can find
okay.
it.
But yeah, I'm sure Mrs. Angel would be most appreciative of it,
Yeah, but what you
and would pay you in ginger nuts.
wow, I do not want any ginger anywhere near my nuts, but thank you very much for the offer. It just it's
Okay,
not my
okay,
kink.
your biscuit of choice.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I was gonna say it's not my kink that.
No.
Not that we're shaming anyone that it is the kink for, because each to their own.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
We
We're not here
don't
to. We're not here
judge.
to judge.
Yeah,
We're just here to point and laugh.
yeah. But no, like I say, I quite enjoyed those books. But it was probably a good 20 years ago that I actually read those books. So my taste would probably change. I'd probably be a bit more critical of them if I read them now, because yeah, you know how things move around, don't they?
Oh, don't they just? Yeah. I mean, the story of Forever Night. There was a movie done of it. Was it Nick Knight? It was Nick Knight, and it was the guy in it. Yeah, I know. He was a singer. Um, put your mind to it and see. You know, think about it while you're doing your jigs. She's currently in VR doing a jigsaw puzzle.
You.
Oh no, she's not actually at the moment. Would you believe
She's in actual
she's power
reality.
washing?
She's in
She's
actual
power
reality.
washing
Okay, cool, nice.
in VR.
In VR, VR power washing.
VR the power washers. But yeah, she's currently cleaning an adventure playground.
Oh, I love that one. That's one of my favourites. Colouring by number. Sorry, power washing by numbers is one of my favourite things on that one. Power washing by colours, I suppose
Although,
technically. But yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. I love
I
just.
need the suit. I need the super duper much bigger. I need the power washer that they normally use for sort of stripping the entire paint off from the side of an aircraft carrier. I think I
Mm,
need one of those.
In real life or in this?
In this.
Right. Oh, there goes another piece of hull plating.
Boing.
And now we're sucking vacuum. Yeah.
Yay!
Oh dear. No,
Who's dying? One of them or one of us?
the other
One of
evening,
them.
the other evening, um,
Evening.
you said about obviously it's like a film needing the right themes in order to actually draw people in. Like I say, the name Snatch for a movie isn't like something that would necessarily make people think this is sort of an intriguing sounding title. It's an interesting sounding title, but depending on where you live in the world, it can mean very different things. And it's not the most action-packed sounding title, but it is one of the most amazing films I've ever seen. It's so funny. But beyond Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and the two Sherlock Holmes films, I've not seen very much
Yeah.
of Guy Ritchie stuff. Um,
Funny enough, I watched Game of Shadows not more than 2 days ago.
I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't quite as good as the first one, but it was enjoyable. It wasn't quite as
Yes.
memorable, but yeah, still enjoyable. But about a week or so back, I watched um, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, which is on Amazon Prime, or was on Amazon Prime, certainly. Um,
Okay.
it's a very tonally different film to what he's done before. It's not like the sort of weird, it's like a comedy, sort of like chat, waff, sort of stuff that he's done before. It is an actual proper sort of action war film. I really quite enjoyed it.
Okay.
I really quite enjoyed it. Largely because it subverted what I was expecting it to do and be anyway.
So
But
it didn't carry the normal sort of Guy Ritchie DNA.
no, it didn't. It felt very different, but it was really good. It Jake Gyllenhaal, Gyllenhaal, whatever, Gilly Gilly,
Yeah. Let's call the whole thing off.
Gilly Gilly,
Yeah. 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 Old
um,
Captain Jilly Jiggy.
Gilly Jiggy.
Jiggy Jiggy. Jiggity Jiggity.
Yeah. But I also watched another one of Guy Ritchie's films that I hadn't seen previously, which was Rock and Roller.
Not seen it, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, again, I think it was on Amazon Prime, um, and that one is a very Guy Ritchie film with the intricate twisting plot, with all sort of like quirky characters and the things where one person does something, it's like okay, that's going to sit someone else up that we're watching, and vice versa, and so on and so on. Yeah, it's very good. But it was the title of that one that primarily had put me off watching it. I think till now, Rock and Roller. I mean, it's not that I don't like rock and roll. It's just the actual idea of a rock and roller. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's actually into it rather than actually necessarily the actual rock and roll itself. You know what I mean? But no, it's another sort of heisty type film, and yeah, it is very good.
Wasn't he involved in the remake of the Italian Job?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
He should have been. Would have given it
Yeah,
a nice would have given
and
it
he's
a
supposed
nice
to blow
little.
the bloody windows out. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You're only supposed to blow his fucking brains out.
All that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he has been associated with a few films. I was quite surprised that he was directing or the like, or whatever. And I can't remember what some of them were, but there were a couple of films. Someone pointed out, it's like, oh, Guy Ritchie directed this. It's like Guy Ritchie directed
Really?
this, and it's like I'll have to look it up in a second. I'll have to look it up in a second because it's just like something again, like I say, that's so tonally different to what you expect him to be associated with, given you know what I've seen of his work in the past and whatever. I think he
I
did.
am aware of his work.
I think he did Mean Machines as well, which was that a football one? Was it Mean Machine or something like that?
But yeah, could have been. Yeah.
I've not seen that one either, so I'll say if that one like turns up at any point, I'll try and give that one a go. But no, I do quite like a lot of his films, but um, It's like with some directors, I'll watch a bunch of their films and think, wow, I really like that, but then there'll be a bunch that won't draw me to watch them straight away, and I'll watch them like years later and go, why did it take me so long to watch this?
Yes, yeah, I know. I've been spending money I don't have recently,
Wow.
and buying things that I never thought I would buy.
All right. Okay.
So
So you've got yourself that
yeah,
you got that self yourself that unicorn finally. Then wink, wink.
the unicorn takes batteries. Wink, wink.
Ah. Uses them fast.
There, can I? I was going to tell you a story when we got off stream the other
Hmm. All
on
right. Okay. Yeah.
Friday, and I never got a chance to tell it. Because obviously I wanted to go and sit down somewhere, but now
Yeah.
I'm sitting comfortably, and of course it is a Saturday night, and we are a no filter stream.
Hmm.
Can I tell you the story?
You can as long as it's okay to be broadcast on stream, or as in you don't mind it being broadcast on stream. Is what I'm saying.
I don't mind.
Cool.
It's
Okay.
not my story.
Okay. That's fine. And
It's
it's
a
just obviously
story. It's
when you were saying the other day
yeah.
about it, I was thinking it's like, oh god, this sounds like something personal. So it's like, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no,
I'm
no,
not.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no. There was a let's call him teenage boy A, okay,
Hmm.
who had been rummaging in his mother's bedside drawer
Wallaging. Hmm.
and had been experimenting the way teenage boys do.
Hmm.
Are you getting the picture, or do I have to draw it for you?
I'd rather you didn't draw anything at all for the rest
Well,
of eternity,
basically,
because that's just like, yeah.
there was something was it got stuck,
Oh dear.
and the only way they could actually get to a position where they could actually take it out was to wait for the batteries to run out.
Oh. Oh dear.
Y- Yeah, so you see now, I know you're partly wincing, but inside you're giggling, going, "Poor bastard."
No,
Yeah.
I'm going. Oh, bastard. Jesus. Oh dear.
Yeah, all of a sudden he sang with vibrato for everything.
So this friend of a friend, wink. Um,
No, actually, it was a story that was told by Tom Allen on an old episode of 8 out of 10 Cats.
right. Okay.
So yeah, I thought it was one of them stories, and it's just like it's a bloody typical teenager, and I think his antics backfired on him in a major way.
Backfired. Yes, that's a way of placing it.
Backfired, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oopsie doodles.
Pun played for and got, but he wished he hadn't. Yeah.
Oh dear lord.
Anyway,
Anywho,
anyway.
anywhere.
Yeah, I am this week. I bought myself an amplifier,
Right.
a guitar amplifier, made by a company called Positive Grid, and it's a tiny little 5 watt. It works like a Bluetooth speaker. Okay,
Hmm.
so you can play normal music through it. But what you can also do is you can say to it, um, play Don't Stop Me Now. And it will go off onto YouTube, find it, it will start playing the video, and it will start displaying the chords for the song, scanning the song while it's being played from YouTube. And it will put the chords on screen of your phone or your tablet, whatever you're using to control it, so you can actually play along with it. Um, you can also you can play sort of 8 or 12 bars of a musical progression into it with your guitar, and then press a button, and it will automatically add bass and drums for you. It's really, really clever.
Nice.
Really clever. You can also say to it, okay, I've got four presets built in, so you can say on the app, I want to sound like Deep Purple for this one, or Black Sabbath for this one, and I want to sound like Brian May for the second one,
And I want to
and the
sound like
third
Joe
one.
Pasquale for the third one. No, 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 Joe.
No, no. There's no Joe involved, unfortunately, at this point.
Oh,
And basically, it will. What it does is it analyzes the sound. If they've analyzed the sound profile of each of the amplifiers and how they respond to different types of instruments,
hmm.
um, and then basically they've created digital copies of them. It is so clever. It's really clever. 'Cause it doesn't just do amps, it does pedals. So you can say, I would like to use a treble
Accelerator.
booster. Like, yeah, I'd like to use a quantum accelerator.
Hmm.
And if they've got one in there, you can use it.
Nice.
It's rather special. And I am having a great time. I keep sitting
Tonight
there.
I'm gonna have myself a real good
Yeah,
time. I feel alive, 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 alive. These
there
ruddy
was
winds.
yeah, I could only eat one or two. Now I know you're because you are my sensible friend.
Sunshine? Oh, sensible. I'm your sensible friend.
You're
Jesus,
my sensible friend.
what are the rest
Yeah,
like?
you are my beacon.
I'm
You
not
have
bacon.
no idea,
I,
really. Well, you've met Lono. You know what Lono's like.
hmm.
My other friends from back there are oh, some of them I wouldn't even um take into like sort of polite company. I really wouldn't
Hmm.
because you they just you get a few beers inside them and all of a sudden they're picking fights with everybody left, right, and centre, calling them all sorts of names under the sun. And of course, obviously, he insults you while you're buying him a pint, which is the usual kind of thing, the best kind of friends.
So you've
But
heard of my reputation then? Cool. Good, good, good.
yeah, excellent. Well, literally, this friend Ian of ours, um, you'd go down the park, go down to the pub, meet him down the pub, buy him a couple of ciders, and we'd be there, most of the night, and we'd come out, and we'd be walking up the street, and there would be a van or car parked, and I'll pass to the left, and he'll pass to the right, and by the time I get to the front of the car, he's called somebody the C word.
Right.
It's just him. He's a very angry
Cauliflower, yeah?
paleontologist. He's a very angsty paleontologist.
Mmm. Angsty.
Yeah. No, he's not a paleontologist. He's an archaeologist. You pillock. Although there's some overlap there involving holes in the ground.
This is not going back to that other story you were telling, is it? With
No,
the
it's
battery
no,
operating with the holes in the ground. Okay, cool. Just
no,
wanted to
no,
check.
no, 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 no,
Just wanted to check.
no, no.
Just wanted to
No,
check it wasn't
I
connected.
won't be going back there again. Won't be going back there again.
Hmm. Had my holiday. Not going back there again.
Would not recommend. They wouldn't fetch me the orange juice. Yes. Um. Oh dear. Are you familiar with a company that's been around for many years? A little company called Master Replicas.
Don't think so.
Master Replicas. They were the ones that brought out the very first screen accurate sort of lightsabers you could buy at home that had all the noises and the lights going up and down and all of the proper clashing noises and stuff.
All the vibrating ones and the flashing ones and the yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the double enders. Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
Well, they've gone on to do many, many, many other things, many wondrous things. Um, but I discovered to my absolute delight that they do little replicas of the ships and sort of the main components of Stargate Atlantis.
Fair enough.
They actually do a replica of the city, and they do the puddle jumper, and they do a couple of the sort of Earth built ships that fly backwards and forwards between the Milky Way and the Pegasus galaxy. Absolutely, uh, unfortunately, all of it is how can we put it? Expensive. The Stargate, the Pegasus style Stargate, the replica is 50 quid and it's 8 inches tall.
Yikes.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mrs. Angel said she's gonna print me one,
I was
but
gonna say
it'll take a while.
it says it's 8 inches. You know, they all say that
But
they're
that's
eight
that's in a
inches.
warm room. That's in a warm room.
Oh dear.
I could really I could have a
Murder a
shelf
pint?
full of
Oh,
Stargate stuff. No, do you know what? I wish I bloody could sometimes. It would make things so much easier.
mm,
Unfortunately, whenever I have a pint, I'll try to murder it and it murders me.
wow, that's rude.
Yeah, it is. Doesn't ask. Doesn't buy me a Chinese or anything first. Just that's it. Gone. Kaput. I am no good to man nor beast.
Uh, hopefully most beasts are safe these days. Yeah.
Well, the restraining order and all the rest of it.
Yes.
They'll never let me back into Howlets again.
Oh, it's time for a
Howlets.
cuppa, or just to drink my cuppa before it goes cold.
Drink your copper. I've gone so far as in the house when I make myself a cuppa, I now use one of those insulated travel mugs
Fair enough.
because it keeps it hotter longer, and you just lock the lid closed, and it will stay hot for a couple of hours. It's brilliant, particularly
Nice.
when it's a larger mug. So then you can sort of it's rather than gulping your tea down before it gets cold, you can go back to it, and you will always know that it's going to be a nice temperature. And actually, my one was purchased from Timu, and built into the lid there is a thermometer. It tells you how hot your drink is.
Fair enough.
You know.
Okay, Mean Machines or whatever I thought it was clearly wasn't a Guy Ritchie film. It's one that obviously just had like
Okay.
the same look of it because it had Vinnie Jones in it, which made me think it was a Guy Ritchie one, but maybe it wasn't then, unless he didn't write it, just directed it. Yeah, what well, best directed?
It might have been, yeah, it might have been like a co-producer or.
No, it's not showing on his profile, so obviously not then. Um, no, the film I was thinking is like that was a Guy Ritchie film. The Aladdin remake, the Aladdin remake, the live action with Will Smith.
Really?
That was Guy Ritchie apparently. I was absolutely shocked when it's like someone points out it's like that was Guy Ritchie. It's like he did that. I mean, who looked at his work and thought, yeah, he's the person to do like a children's live action, you know, comedy sort of musical? Yeah, exactly. It's completely in keeping with everything he's done before. I mean, I can't remember. I don't think I've seen the remake, but I think it was received okay, wasn't it? I don't know. I don't know.
What? Aladdin?
Yeah, the Will Smith remake one.
Not sure.
I know most of the live action ones, people are like just absolutely slamming on, which is fair enough because most of them are completely unnecessary. Because when you've got a perfect film and it's got Robin Williams doing a voice of all people, it's like
Several voices.
yeah, it's like you don't need to remake this. I'm sure you can still make money off the original. without spending hundreds of millions making a new one with new stars, which might flop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big gamble, but it's also cashing in on something that people know which is already popular, and people will probably go and watch just because of what it is, or certain people will. Anyway,
Damn, how the bloody hell am I going to get up there?
up where?
I just opened the attack wings,
Yeah, you can close
or
them
one
again.
of them.
You can close them again.
Yeah,
Just
but
just
you
run
need to
up.
clean inside, don't you?
Just run up the side of the ship. Just sprint towards the side
Okay.
of the ship and run. Where are you? Literally, just sort of
Up there.
just sprint.
Yeah, you and your crazy parkour shit.
Yeah,
I can just
boy.
I could just never do that with my back. Thanks.
So it had to be done.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. I probably would have myself, you know.
Oh dear.
So,
I'm trying to think of some of the other films I've seen just recently. One that I did watch, I'd purchased it a while back on Amazon Prime because it was dirt cheap. Only because it was dirt cheap, and because it had appeared when we were doing not riff tracks, the other one, what the dub. It had appeared on one of
yeah.
the some of the what the dub clips, and it looked very silly. And that is, myself and Shell watched it together because I'd never seen it, and Shell was like, "Yeah, what the hell?" She was up for watching that because it looked stupid. Tammy and the T Rex,
Okay.
which is what's her name from Starship Troopers? Um, oh God, what's her bloody name? Shit, it's just disappeared from my brain now. It was the very first film she was in, basically, and it's also got Paul Walker in it.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, it's
A very
just
young Paul Walker.
a very young Paul Walker, and oh my goodness, it is so chuffed. It is just mental. It's, I mean, the plot for it is so ridiculous, as you'd probably expect from a title of like Tammy and the T Rex.
Yes.
Basically, I think they're supposed to be in high school or something like that. Um, and her boyfriend's an absolute arse, and even she doesn't like him. So it makes me wonder why she's actually going out with him at all. But
Yeah.
it's like logic be logic in films and whatever. It's good to have an antagonist. It's good to have some connection to the. Anyway, basically, she clearly fancies Paul Walker's character, but she's like, "Oh no, don't do anything or say anything because you'll upset my boyfriend who'll beat the shit out of you." Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, basically, he beats the shit out of him, and then they sort of take him into this wildlife park with an open top vehicle, and they say basically dump him out of the flaming vehicle, and they leave him, and he gets mauled by this lion. It's fucking stupid. It's such a fucking stupid process. Meanwhile, there are these mad scientists who've created this dinosaur, and they can like puppeteer this dinosaur, but they want to give it a brain so that it can actually operate itself. You can see where this is going, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, his brain gets put into the dinosaur, um, and
Oh,
it's
dear.
just so Chad. Like I say, T Rexes have got well, the T Rexes as portrayed in modern literature, and obviously as how they originally were thought to be, having like the really small arms. Well,
Well,
his
like,
arms, his
yeah,
arms,
proportionally they have.
his arms shrink and extend based on the purpose of what he needs to do in a particular scene. He'll be like, "Oh, I've got tiny little arms, can't do anything." And then the next scene, he's like reaching out to grab something. It's like, you can't do that. you wouldn't be able to do that. But it's like fine, it's fine, it's fine. This is a cheesy, cheap, shit blaming movie. It's just so ridiculously stupid. It really is.
Stupid,
So,
stupid, stupid.
yes, stupid, stupid, stupid. Yes, yeah. Um, but yeah, no, that was a weird one. That was a very weird one. Um, on a side note, another film which is like a very little known sci-fi film, which I'd seen recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it had a budget of about $5 million or pounds. I'm not sure which, but I think it's probably say dollars. But um,
And you think they spent most of it on speed?
possibly the film's got a very David Cronenberg feel to it. It's called Vesper.
Uh huh.
It's
Right.
and it's like a future sort of like post-apocalyptic, but not like dust and sand and all that sort of shit like you see in Mad Max. This is like plants of everything's gone fucking haywire. There are lots of new sort of life forms, and plants have developed sort of carnivorous abilities and various things like that. And oh, it's real. I'd say body horror stuff, but it's mostly sort of like as I said, mostly plants rather than actually um, human body horror sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and it's basically following a young girl whose dad is I can't remember exactly what actually happened to him, but like I say, he's like really seriously ill. He can't move. He's basically like permanently on this bed with like cables and plugs and tubes installed into him. But when she's out and about, he can basically go with her in the form of this floating um, it's almost like a floating helmet, which is like automated, and he can see through it and he can talk to her through it, whereas he can't actually physically talk through his own physical body and the like.
Uh huh.
Um, and yeah, like I said, there's the usual partition. There's like the people who live in like the big sort of like city that everyone's like, oh, the city is so the place where blah 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 blah, and all these people are out in the wilderness having to just fend for themselves and struggling to feed themselves and shit.
Yeah.
It's got I'm trying to remember his name. I always forget his name every bloody time. He's so famous and he's been in so many things, and I always forget his name. I'm gonna have to look it up because otherwise I'll be so waffling about it
What's
for
he been
free.
in? What other things?
Well, let's put it this way: he's been in like Only Fools and Horses. He was in like The World's End. The final Cornetto trilogy one. Um,
Well, you say that, but apparently they're thinking about doing another film for the Cornetto. I mean, not making it a trilogy, making it a series.
a quadrilogy. I hate when people use that word. Tetralogy. Thank you very much. Um, Eddie Marson. Eddie Marson.
Okay, the name rings a bell.
He's one of those faces you recognise, and it's like, okay, your name. And while I was watching, I thought his name's Eddie. Eddie, is it Eddie? Am I thinking Eddie, or was that his name, or was that one of his characters? Eddie, Eddie. I would not have been able to remember his surname, but I mean, he's been in so many things, and he's just like just such a familiar face. And I saw him in something else just a couple of days after as well, and it's like, yep, he's in everything. But he's a staple British actor, but he just doesn't. He just never reached quite the highlights of or the high profile stuff that some others do.
Was he in Welcome to the Punch?
It's possible, but I'm not sure if I've seen Welcome to the Punch. I think I have, but if I have, I've only seen it once, and I may
James
have
McAvoy.
I know it's James McAvoy, but I may have fallen asleep while I watched it. Is what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
that's no criticism on a film. I fall asleep while I'm running. No, I don't run anymore. I can't run. But I probably could fall asleep while I was running if I were running and could.
Yeah, I
I've
know
got
the
this.
feeling.
I've got this horrible sort of like narcolepsy shit that I mean, sort of. If I'm doing something like that, or no, not necessarily running, like I say, but if I'm watching something or in front of the screen for too long or something, I can tend to sort of just like just drift in and out of consciousness for like probably about 10, 20 minutes at a time, sometimes longer, sometimes less. You know,
I know you've done it with me when I've been in a party with you.
I probably have. Yes, I do apologise for
Yeah,
that.
you have.
And it's
Honestly.
no, and like I
No,
say,
it's all right.
and
It's
like I say,
cool.
it's no criticism on anyone or anyone else. It's not that people are boring me. It's just a case of my brain just every now and then, when it's been doing something for a particular amount of time, shuts down. And
Yep.
it's why I can't do office work because if I'm doing data entry, falling asleep on your keyboard is like, "Hello, Mister Mush."
Yeah.
How are
Which
you
which
today?
is normally the result of you falling asleep on the keyboard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh God. But no, like I say, this film, it's like I say, you'd feel like it has a bigger budget than 5 million. They've done well with what they've actually spent on it. Um, it's got some real sort of like I don't know how much of it would be classed as CGI, but I think most of it is actually physical sort of stuff. It's very so like the Thing or as I said, David
Eddie
Cronenberg stuff.
Marsden.
Eddie
Eddie
Marson,
Marsden.
Marson.
Marsden. Was he in the Sherlock Holmes movies
Yes, he was
as
Lestrade.
Lestrade?
Yes,
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yes, he was in Welcome to the Punch.
yeah,
I can confirm that
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. Like I say,
My
he's the
mind
sort of
picked
actor.
it out of somewhere.
Yeah, he's the sort of actor, like I say, that you'll see and think, Christ, what's your name? I'm really sorry. What's your name? What is your name? But he's a really
Yeah,
good actor, really good actor. But yeah, he plays like the sort of leader of the people who are sort of out in the wilderness, and um, yeah, it's a very weird little film, but it's an interesting little sci-fi film. I think I picked it up for about a fiver on Amazon Prime because
not bad.
I'd seen it sort of advertised on a video on YouTube. Basically, sci-fi films that you'll probably have missed. It was only a couple of years ago it was made, so it's quite a recent one. But it's one of those ones which probably deserved more attention than it actually got. And yeah, I did quite enjoy that, and it was very odd, very odd. But but yeah,
Do
basically,
you enjoy the Cronenberg style movies? They're a bit strange.
I've liked some of them in the past. I'm trying to think of any off the top of my head, but
Scanners,
yes, Scanners. I used to love Scanners because it was so again so stupid and weird and thing.
Existence.
Existence. Yes, I was literally about to say Existence because me and my friends when we watched that. Oh my god, there was one point we just had to we stopped the movie and we all just pissed ourselves laughing. It's where he's like basically he's like basically just kneels down, he falls to his knees, and goes, "Existence is paused," and then sort of appears to face plant into a desk. And we all just fucking pissed ourselves laughing because it was so fucking stupid. But yeah, it was a weird film, that one. But
You're not wrong.
yeah, yeah, it's I haven't really watched any of those sort of things for a while, but I used to quite enjoy them because they were stupid.
Have you seen the film adaptation of Naked Lunch?
I've got it on DVD. I used to have it on VHS, but then I upgraded to DVD. I just love the bit with the in home where it's like if you look very carefully, you'll see that my lips aren't syncing with what I'm actually saying. It's like, fuck, oh Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, yeah, yeah. And also a fan of Peter Weller thanks to RoboCop. So yeah, I
yeah.
have seen that one. That typewriter though, is
It's
just
a little different from the book,
that
but
I'm sure it is, but that typewriter just freaks me the fuck out when it starts oozing and shit. Oh my god.
yep,
Oh dear. Very odd. Very odd. And they start flaming. It's like getting highs off of bug powder.
that's
Fucking
right.
hell. Fucking hell. Yeah,
If
some people
anybody
will do anything for it.
watching the stream, investigate it. It's or
No, no, no.
if you're
For
more of
people watching the
a
stream,
more
people
more of
watching
a
the stream, do not inject bug powder into your bloodstream. It is not a good idea.
No,
Trust me on this.
I'm talk.
Trust me on this.
I'm talking the film or the book. The film or the book.
Hmm.
Let them do the experimentation for you.
It has been documented. It's a bad idea. And it's got Roy Scheider in it as well, hasn't it?
It has.
12 sharp. Roy Scheider, 12 sharp. I still love Blue Thunder. Both the film and the
Yep.
TV, both the film and the TV series.
Catch you later.
Yeah. Oh, it was Malcolm McDowell. God, it was Malcolm McDowell, wasn't it? Yeah, of course it was. He was the one in the other chopper, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, personal opinion, voices that sound alike or sound very, very
Yep.
similar. Malcolm McDowell, John Hurt.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they've got that same sort of gravelly sort of intonation to it, which you don't hear very often in many people's day-to-day voice. Like I say, I'd be able to tell them apart. I'm sure I'd be able to tell them apart, but they do sound really quite. Or they did obviously when John Hurt was still around with us, but they had a very similar sound to them.
I've got to ask Mrs. Angel something. Mrs. Angel, who was the voice of Kit in the original Knight Rider?
Oh God,
William Daniels.
yes, yes.
Now, they did an updated version. I'm not talking about Team Knight Rider. I'm talking about
2016
the
or something, wasn't
modern
it?
one
Yeah,
they did.
yeah, yeah. I know they've done a few.
Yeah. Do you know who the voice was?
I
Because he
don't.
sounds awfully like him.
Was it Jack Daniels?
No,
Anthony
it was
Daniels?
Val Kilmer.
Jesus,
It was
he
his
could.
last. It was his
Yeah,
last sort of acting role
yeah, because he can't
because
really
obviously
the
he hasn't
throat
got a
stuff.
voice anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he was in the recent Top Gun as well, and they actually
I know his voice was recreated, wasn't it?
yeah, and they also like I
Digitally.
say in the new Top Gun they actually incorporate him having like problems speaking into the actual character.
Do they?
Yeah, they sort of
Do you know? I've got the movie and I've not. I've probably seen about 20 minutes of it.
it is quite good. I actually think it. Well, like I say, it's a modern retelling basically, but it's a worthy successor and probably better than the original because the original was just so monumentally cheese, and this is
I love a bit of 80s
yeah
cheese.
like I say it's enjoyable, but like I say it's cheese. But this is also kind of cheesy, but and also it's one of those sequels where it has to sort of make certain references to the original just so you're paying attention, just so that you can little Easter eggs. Like, people who watched the first one will recognise this. Um, like when one of the kids gets on the piano and goes, "You shake my nose and you run." Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah.
You didn't have to be that on your fucking nose. You know what I mean? But it's like there weren't too many moments like that in the film. It wasn't like too annoying where it's like constantly self-referential. But it was very enjoyable. I did quite enjoy that. I've seen it a few times, in fact, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I probably like you. I bought it on Amazon Prime.
With
So,
Top Gun, I've got it on Blu-ray. But yeah,
uh,
yeah. But again, like I say, a lot of films. Sometimes I'll watch a film and think, God, I didn't really enjoy that, and sometimes it's because I passed out during part of it and missed chunks of plot or wasn't paying attention. Um,
yeah.
there was a film I
I presume the
rewatched.
cinema's a bad place for you, is it?
Not really in the cinema. I'm okay because usually it's usually down to temperature as well. If it's quite warm in a room, then I'm more likely to like pass out and just snooze off. You know what I mean? If I'm warm and comfortable in a cinema, it's usually a bit cooler. There's a different kind of atmosphere, and the chairs are a little bit sort of different. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
so I don't generally have that problem so much there. But I've lost my train of thought. Actually, there was a film I was watching or rewatching, I should say, about a month ago. I'm trying to remember what it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'd watched it previously and not enjoyed it at all. I think actually no, it was probably Glass. Actually, yeah, I think it was Glass. I watched it before and thought, didn't think much of that, but I know I'd fallen asleep during it. I put it on to rewatch it because I wanted to finish the trilogy. Basically, it was the last in the trilogy, Glass, because it was Unbreakable, Split, then Glass. Um,
I really liked Split. I thought that was really good.
it was, yeah. I'd watched all of them again in order so I could actually, remember exactly what was going on. But I'd never really seen Glass properly, so I thought, it's been a while. I'm going to rewatch it. Actually, no, there was another film as well. Um, Dead Men Don't Die. That was probably the other one I'm thinking of actually. Where yeah, I remember a bit more of that. But rewatching Glass, I must have literally fallen asleep the second I hit play because I couldn't remember a fucking thing of it. I remembered seeing Samuel L. Jackson in a wheelchair. Beyond that, I remembered seeing him in a wheelchair in a white room. Beyond that, I remembered nothing of that film. And
Wow.
it wasn't the greatest film in the world. It really wasn't a fantastic end to the trilogy, in my opinion. It was okay. It was watchable, but it wasn't a satisfying end to the trilogy. Is probably more to the point. But I did actually get through all of it without falling asleep.
Okay.
But yeah, the other film that I watched recently was Dead Men Don't Die, and it's another one I bought on Blu-ray because it was by Jim Jarmusch. I've seen a couple of his
Bless
films in the
you.
past. Yeah, bless me. I've seen him. I've seen a couple of his films before. Back when Blockbuster used to still be around, I would often buy
Hmm.
VHS used rental ones from the boxes they had out the front,
Yeah.
and I picked up a film called Dead Man, which was Johnny Depp, Gary Farmer, a few other people, and it was by Jim Jarmusch, and I really, really liked that film. It was uh, Johnny Depp was playing a character by the name of William Blake. Um, Now, at that sort of in that sort of time, I was massively into buying books of poetry and things like that, and reading them, and sort of trying to sort of
Yeah, Blake.
make
Yeah.
trying to read and make sense of them. He wasn't playing that William Blake, but that gets referenced heavily throughout the film because this character that he meets thinks he is the William Blake. Um, and Johnny Depp throughout most of the film is like suffering from like a gunshot wound, so he's a little bit delirious, and he's not really sort of able to fight the battle and say, look, I'm not him, that's not me. Um, it was black and white, quite stylized. I think it's got Lance Henriksen, it's got Michael Wincott in it. It's got quite a few famous names in it, and for someone who probably wasn't that big a name director at the time, he did quite well sort of attracting those sort of names to it. You know what I mean? I enjoyed that, and
Yeah.
there was a film he made a few years after that called Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai, and I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. Um, so I went into. I haven't seen any of his stuff since, but I went into this expecting something along tonally the same because it has Bill Murray in it. It's got Adam Driver in it. It's got a few other sort of well-known names. Tom Waits, I think, is in it as well. So yeah, it's got like I say,
Right.
it's got quite a few well-known actors and names in it. Oh my god, I turned it off. It's like, what the fuck is this film? Um, and yeah, it took me a couple of years to go back to it to even try and rewatch it again, and that was largely because someone posted up on the forum about this film and said, "Oh, I really love this film." It's like, you love this film? What? I don't
He's a
understand.
loon.
I don't understand. How? Why? What? Um, and basically, it's very self-referential, and it breaks the fourth wall, where it's like, oh, how did you know this was going to happen? How did you know things were going to end badly? It's like, oh, I read ahead in the script. It's like, oh, fuck off. Why did you have to do shit like that? It's just so annoying when people do that. And the theme song gets played about 20 times in the first half hour. It's like, seriously, I've never heard the song before, and I'm already fed up with it. Please stop doing this. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're playing it on the radio. Then someone else has got a cassette of it, and someone else was like, "Fuck off! Please leave me alone." Um, but basically, I read on the forums after from someone else who'd watched it said it's supposed to be an homage to Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is
Okay.
which is widely regarded as one of the worst films ever made. And you yourself referenced that earlier. It's like when you were saying shut up, or whatever the hell it was. You were,
Yeah. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
that's it,
Yes.
stupid, stupid, stupid. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's supposed to be widely regarded as one of the worst films ever made, and this is supposed to be an homage to it. It's like, look, if they'd said that front and center, if they'd advertised that, I would have gone into the film expecting something very different. But what you've given us is like a zombie film, which looks, from the state of the cast you've given us and the actual amount of budget you put into it, like it's not supposed to be the stupidest and shittiest worst film ever made. It looks like it's supposed to be a sensible, proper, actual, decent movie. And I,
Okay.
I didn't hate it as much on the second viewing because I knew by then what to expect, and my expectations were lowered. But you shouldn't have to lower your expectations in order to enjoy movies, in my opinion. It should be just like, worth watching in the first place. So I wouldn't recommend people necessarily go out of their way to watch it. But if you like really crap, really shitty films that make unnecessary self-referential stuff to themselves, and then have some bizarre fucking shit happen all the time. Oh, it's got of course it's got what's her name in it as well. Oh, she was in Constantine. What's her name?
Rachel Weisz.
No, 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 no. Gabriel.
Oh yes.
Yeah, names on the tip of my tongue. It's a silly place
Yes,
to put
it's
it.
mine too.
Silly place to put it.
Yeah.
But she was in it as well, and she's one of the highlights of it because she plays such a fucking weird character, but she does weird characters so well. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, she does play like a very very odd character, and the quirkiness of her character. I hadn't actually seen her character at all the first time round because I hadn't got that far into the movie. Um, yeah, that was worth it. But again, that adds another flaming twist to this zombie movie, which I won't ruin for anyone who does want to watch it. But it's just you know what I mean. Some
Yeah.
films
Have you,
some films are exhausting.
yes, they are definitely. The full extended trilogy of Lord of the Rings, for example.
I'm actually making Shell watch that at the moment. We literally finished the Two Towers earlier on today because we'd seen the first part of it the previous day. Because when we were doing the quiz last night, because Shell versus Shell, she had quite a lot of movie trivia questions, and Shell doesn't watch
Yeah.
a lot of movies, and when she watches a movie, she often forgets about it and then can't remember she's seen it. She was grateful for a couple of ones I've actually got her to watch recently because one of the answers was Born Identity, which we'd just finished the first trilogy of Born Identity um,
Okay.
just a couple of days ago, and she would not have got the picture of Aragorn being Lord of the Rings if we hadn't started the Lord of the Rings ones. So yeah, she was like, I know this, I know this. Like, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And she was a bit more confident with some of the answers this time round, which is because last week she was like, oh, I didn't know anything, I'm stupid. It's like you're not stupid just for not knowing trivia about movies or music, or whatever. Because if it's not your interest, you're not going to know about it.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I've got a head full of useless crap, so
Oh, so have I. So have I. Tilda Swinton. See, there it is.
that's
You.
it. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, she played a very very quirky character in this thing, and it was
She also played Gabriel in
Constantine.
Constantine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I said. It was Gabriel from Constantine. Is what I said previously.
And
But yeah, she didn't play Power Ranger.
the all powerful being in Doctor Strange.
Yes. Yeah. 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 And I thought she was very good in that as well.
I thought she was.
Yeah. Do 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 do. Bang 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 on the wall from dusk till dawn. I don't know why that's just jumped into my head.
Obviously you've seen the film. Have you seen the TV series?
Of Constantine, yes.
No, no,
Because
no, no. I was thinking Dust Till Dawn.
oh
Actually,
god, no
my
no no no
mind.
no 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 no. no. I barely got through the film. Let's put it like that. I mean, I love that it starts. I love that the film starts off one way and then completely swaps genres partway through. I enjoyed that aspect of it, but I just didn't like the film enough to sort of really be that interested in it.
I thought it was. It sounds bad, but I mean, it was a Tarantino movie, but I actually thought it was a bit sweary and a bit sort of unnecessary in places.
Yeah. Well, as I posted on like a forum just a couple of days ago, because other people have been reinforcing what I believed, and I thought I don't know if I should actually post this because I'm going to get roasted for this. And a lot of people and other people had posted this when someone said, "What do you think is the most overrated director?" And
Yeah.
a lot of people were answering exactly what I'd made a note of in my notebook on my phone. And I thought I'd started making a post, which I was going to like post up as like it's like this is like an overrated person, director, blah 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 blah. But this became like a subsection of another thread on the same forum. I didn't have the confidence to post it because many things these days, I'll write out a long flaming sort of post of like blah 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 blah, and I'll think if I post this, everyone's just going to get on my fucking back, and I'm going to end up having to block everyone because I'm going to be so pissed off, and I just don't want to deal with the bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like this is my opinion. I'm not saying you have to share my opinion. You're taking personal offence at this when it does nothing to you that I don't like this. You know what I mean? It means nothing to you that I don't like this. But you don't have to sort of participate if you don't have any interest in me saying this. This is a message board. We're supposed to have like opinions and discuss it, rather than some
Yes.
people just saying you're wrong. It's like different people have different opinions. And it's like yeah. Basically, Quentin Tarantino overrated, massively overrated. I
Oh
love,
yeah,
I
you're not
like,
wrong.
I like Reservoir Dogs, and I quite like Pulp Fiction. I've seen those both a few times. Probably Pulp Fiction more than the Reservoir Dogs, but even so, uh, I've watched that. But this was the note I'd actually started writing. That beyond Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, I can't think of a film I've really enjoyed because I can't. Um, I I wrote this literally after I tried to rewatch Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah.
Now, I quite enjoyed Inglourious Basterds the first time, but when I tried to rewatch it the other night, I'd fallen asleep before Christoph Waltz's end of his first monologue at the beginning of the film. I'd fallen asleep before the first scene had finished, and
Bloody hell.
this time it wasn't necessarily because of narcolepsy. It's just because it was quite boring, and yeah, his work generally so
It does take a while to get going, though, doesn't it?
yeah,
That movie.
and I basically put here like his work generally has overinflated blocks of dialogue that are excellent as herbal alternative to Valium, but not so great at keeping me awake and alert. And I thought, no,
Yes.
I can't post that online because I will get roasted. And then I saw everyone else posting that they thought that Tarantino, after Pulp Fiction in particular, was massively overrated. And it's like, okay, fine, I'm not alone in this opinion. I don't feel quite so alone in this world. There are certain films I'm not even bothered watching, like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is it?
Yes.
I'm not bothered with that. I might watch it someday and try and give it a go. But like I say, I don't think his films, on the whole, while like I say, I'm not going to say they're bad films. They're not bad films. It's just that they're not films that I would want to re-watch. And I rate how good a film is based on how memorable it was and
Rewatchable.
how soon after I want to watch this film again and again and again and again and still enjoy it. That's pretty much my staple for my movie watching these days. There are some
Yeah.
fantastic films I've watched which I don't want to watch again. Don't get me wrong. There are some great films I've watched and thought that was amazing. I don't think I can watch it again. I'm a massive Christopher Nolan fan. Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. I've watched it. Um, and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was really good. But I don't know that I'll actually watch that a second time. Pretty much every other Christopher Nolan film I've watched time and time and time again. But that one, it's like okay, but it's kind of hard going. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean it's a bad film.
Yeah,
It just means it's kind of, you know, it's a
hard
tough
going.
subject. It's a tough subject. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Like I personally find The Dark Knight Rises to be really difficult to sit through.
yes, it's long. It's not that it's bad or that they've necessarily done anything wrong with it. It's just it is quite long. And when you think things are starting to come to a close, they suddenly ramp up again.
Yeah.
But films like Interstellar, Inception, Tenet, Tenet. I've seen that film probably about 5 or 6 times, and my brain still hurts every time I try and untangle certain parts of that. But it's enjoyable enough, and I get, like I say, the basic general idea of what it is when it's going through it. It's just there's a certain couple of parts of it. I think I there's a certain couple of parts during the film. I think, is this a plot hole? Would this have actually happened this way, or would it have happened a different way? Given that one person knew something that they didn't know moments before, it's another time twisting sort of mind bender, and it works because, like I say, what actually happened, what you see on the screen, happens and then happens again. I'm not going to like ruin it in case you've not seen it, but it's yeah, definitely take some headache tablets before you start that. Again, like I say,
Okay.
but again, like I say, I enjoy that, and I have seen it several times. Um, yeah, but like I say, a lot of Tarantino's films I've seen once, and it's like, okay, I've seen it. I'm glad I've seen it, but not interested in watching it again. I mean, people rate the Kill Bill films. I really don't. I didn't like the first one, so consequently, the second one was not really going to sort of do me many favors. But I did see it eventually, but I've only seen it the once, so I couldn't remember anything of it at all, really. Django Unchained.
Uh,
Django Unchained, I've seen once.
Never seen it. Never felt the need.
Yeah, it's incredibly violent as you'd expect. It's incredibly sweary as you'd expect. And it's like I say, it's almost like it's the shock factor that makes people think he's a fantastic director. And he's not a bad director. He's not a bad director. It's just a case of all he does is write endless streams of monologue. It's not all he does. Like I say, I'm generalising it, but it's not all that he does. Don't get me wrong, but it's like he writes lots of streams of monologue, and some of it adds to the character or to the actual film. But for the most part, it's like, did I really need to sit here and listen to that?
Hmm. Anyway, let's. I'm going to go off on a tangent now.
Oh no, not a tangent. Have you got
Best
have you got
three.
have you got someone else on the front or the back with you,
No, no.
or am I thinking of something else?
You must be thinking of something else.
Oh, I'm thinking of a tandem. Sorry, tandem. Sorry, yeah, yeah, okay. So carry on, carry on. Oh, oh.
Best three Johnny Depp movies in your opinion.
Ooh, ooh. Now that is a good one. I used to really love Donnie Brasco. That was one of my favourites for a long, long time. But he's done so many films I've really enjoyed. It's really hard to choose. I will just say that the Fantastic Beasts one is definitely not among his best work.
No, it's not.
It's definitely not among his best work, and it's not necessarily his fault. He was completely miscast as that, and they should have just kept Colin Farrell, quite frankly, because he was really good in that.
Yeah.
Um, Spoiler alert for anyone who's still choosing to watch that sort of stuff and hasn't. Um, Now, like I say, Dead Man is high on that list, the one I mentioned earlier,
Okay.
because I used to really love that, and like I say, the poetry, it was almost like video poetry. That film, it was in black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a western, western sort of setting. he wasn't a cowboy. He was I think he was a writer. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but he's just someone who I think he falls in love with the wrong woman and ends up getting shot over it. Um, and then he's wounded for pretty much the entire movie. And this Native American who's not. I don't think he's an actual Native American. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if the character's supposed to be, but he's played by Gary Farmer, who I'm not sure exactly what nationality you'd actually class him as, but um, again, a good actor. But like I say, he's basically got a catchphrase just like "stupid fucking white man," which he's always saying pretty much throughout the entire film. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
it's just I love it. It's just like so. It's quite a gentle film with some really egregious characters in it. And basically they're hunting William Blake because of I don't know if he actually killed someone or if he actually got in a duel with someone or what. It's been so long since I saw that film. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Let's put it like that. And it's a film I've seen so many times, but I haven't replaced it since I lost my VHS recorder because I used to have it like on
Okay.
VHS. As I said, it was one of the ones I picked up from Blockbuster Video when they used to sell off the X rental ones.
Yep.
Um, so that's high on the list. I'd have to have a look through his full thing just to see if there are any others that would like supersede that into the top three. But that I did find
Okay.
very enjoyable. I'm going to have a look in a second, and when I finish polishing the Canon,
Oh, sir.
suits you, sir. Um, yeah. Like I said, Donnie Brasco used to be, so, as I said, really high on my list because seeing him alongside Al Pacino,
Yeah.
Mr. Cappuccino, two very very well known actors. Um, like I say, Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one was really good. His character was just so quirky and funny and off the wall, and he was an opportunist, and I love that in like a comedy character. Where it's like, I've seen the way the wind's blowing. I'm going to swap over to this sort of opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The lovable rogue. Um, I'm going to I'm going to go on IMDb and like get a list of some of the films because I used to watch pretty much everything he was in. It's not been the case so much in recent years, and that's not because of any particular commentary on anything. It's just that there are so many things I've been trying to watch and just so little time. But um, he's yeah, because Sleepy Hollow was a good one. I used to love Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah. It's one of mine.
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow was so good. It's just when they keep spraying them with blood. It was just hilarious. Um, scrolling
Interesting
down.
fact: the headless horseman, the stunt man that did that was Ray Park, the one who was
Yes,
Darth Maul,
yeah, yeah. Did all the sword swinging and all that sort of shit. Yep, yep.
and also he was Toad in X-Men.
Yeah, I know, I know. He was not quite such a lovable character in that one.
No, he wasn't. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
But yes.
Anyway, you've
Scrolling
got
down, scrolling
one
down,
more, I
scrolling down.
think.
Scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling. Like I say, I've not seen many of his films from the last decade. I've not seen. Just saying. Um, yeah, at World's End is pretty much where I sort of cut off and didn't watch very much of his stuff specifically. Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
He was in the Fast Show.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh,
Radiant, sir. Radiant.
oh,
Oh, yeah. He was there.
wow.
Because he has
Customer.
gone on record as saying he says probably one of the best actors he's ever seen is a Mr. Paul Whitehouse.
Fair enough.
And
Fair
he was a
enough.
huge fan of him because of the Fast Show.
I mean, I'd forgotten he was in Vicar of Dibley as well. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is a fantastically weird fucking film.
Oh,
So
yeah.
bizarre. There was one thing I'm trying to remember the name of. Yeah, Dead Man was 1995. Um, I used to quite like Don Juan DeMarco, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was one of my favourite ones. It was really good. Um, and again, he was good in Ed Wood, which is ironically him playing a role of a director who's known for making really shit films, such as. Can you name the film?
No.
I believe Ed Wood was the director of Plan 9 from Outer Space, wasn't he?
Could be. Yeah, it's one of those names
He
where
was
if a
known.
film is particularly bad.
He was known for making really shit films. Let's just put that there. I'm sorry, just
What?
going to finish off my Johnny Depp sort of Johnny Depp scroll, which I'm going to like go back to viewing again. But yeah, I believe Ed Wood was the director of that. But yeah, Ed Wood is worth a watch because it was quite enjoyable and
Ed
um,
Wood was a name that was used by certain producers when they thought that their film really stank,
you're thinking of
but they
something
wanted to
else. You're
they
thinking
wa-
of what they did with Dune. Not Ed. It's not Ed Wood. It was oh, what the fuck is it? Because the original cut of Dune, David Lynch said,
yeah.
"Look, fuck off. I'm not having anything to do with that." Um, and it's a weird name, but I'll find it in a second because there's so much trivia I'm trying to remember. What's Eating Gilbert Grape was a good film, and Benny and June were good films. I really enjoyed those. Very, 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 very entertaining. Um, I forgot he was in Platoon.
Was he?
Yeah, he was one of the soldiers, but he wasn't well known. It was one of his very early films. Um,
He wasn't sucky sucky $5 then.
Not that I'm aware of. But What's Eating Gilbert Grape? I'll occasionally reference that one. That was with him with a very young Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yes, it was.
and he was like autistic, and sort of sometimes I'll do the match in the gas tank, boom boom. That sometimes just pops into my head out of nowhere. um, Nick of Time was the first time he tried to do like an action film, and it didn't really work. Um, so Sleepy Hollow, Pirates of the Caribbean, number one. God, it's a difficult choice, really. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put Dead Man. Dead Man at the top of the list.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
just gonna quickly look up Ed Wood, just to confirm my theories that he was indeed the director of Plan 9. No, that was the film. That's not the film. That's the film. No, stop clicking on the wrong thing. Damn stupid phone. God damn it, Jesus. That's an actor, not a director. Oh, well, it'll be easier if I just put Plan 9 in, won't it? Director Edward D. Wood Jr. Yes, I was correct. Um, right, one moment. So the other thing I was trying to say, look up. My brain is quickly filling up with meh, filling up with meh. David Lynch, David Lynch, David Lynch. It'll be under trivia, I'm sure. Because you'll see the name appear on quite a lot of things when people, as you say, don't want to have their name associated with it. Smithy, Alan Smithy. I actually remembered that before I actually found it in here. Yeah,
Well done.
they call it an Alan Smithy film if it's a director basically saying, "Fuck off, you're not using my name on that shit." Yeah,
Yeah.
and the original cut of Dune that I have on DVD is the Alan Smithy version, and it's fucking terrible. Where they have lots of extra dialogue and voiceover work to try and explain every last detail that's going on. It's like, please remove this. This is so annoying, and it's detracting from the film, and I fucking hate it. I know people are very much Marmite about the original Dune. I love it. It's just weird and fantastical. It's not necessarily the best adaptation of Dune or the most accurate adaptation of Dune, but it's entertaining and it shows enough of the film for you to really like catch on to it. Um, and it's a film I've seen quite a few times over the years. Um,
Haven't we all, mate? Haven't we
yeah,
all?
and I do like the new Dune film, so I'm not sort of criticizing that. I've not read the books because those books are thick, and who has the time these
Oh
days?
yeah, 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 yeah. They are real chunky boys.
Yeah, I just don't have the time to really sort of read it and like say, hey, this is like the film, or like this part of the film, or this is inaccurate to the film because obviously they've changed it. Blah 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 blah. Um, like I say, if people enjoy the books, good on you because there are lots of books. There are lots of books, and yeah, I had my phase where I used to like, do lots of reading, but these days, again, reading, like I say, it's looking at a screen again for long periods of time. I will snooze off. I'll drop my book, I'll drop my phone or whatever I'm reading the favourite thing on, and it'll probably flick over several pages and I'll lose track of where I've got to. It used to be the case I'd often read a book and then when I went back to it, I'd have to like read the previous 2 pages because I wouldn't have really taken in what the previous 2 pages said.
Yeah.
So I'll be like rereading the same bits constantly because it's like I'll read a few pages and it's like, okay, I have no idea what the hell's going on here. I'm going to read back and then it's like start again and then read back and then start again. Like I say, I'm seeing a doctor basically end of next week because I want to get a few things diagnosed. I've never really considered it in the past before, but I'm pretty sure I've got ADHD, or at least to a
Right.
degree. At least to a degree, because um, I love writing. I love writing. It's fantastic. I love coming up with stupid ideas, silly captions, little quips, and things like that, and silly ideas for stories. And it's like, right, okay, and I'll start writing it, and I'll make notes of how I want things to plan out, and the idea of, the direction I want things to go in. It's like, okay, so I've got a plan, and then I'll sit down to start fleshing it out and actually writing it, and I'll get about 2 pages in, and then it's like, ooh, what about this idea for something? Blah 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 blah. Blah. I'll start writing this and start making notes of this and start making plans out for this, and I'll have like about 20 different stories that I've started and I never ever get very far in writing them because I can't physically sit in front of a screen or on a typewriter or anything like that and just write and plan it out because in my mind I've relived this story over and over again of how it's going to go and how it's going to be, and it's like, right, okay, I'm done with that idea. I've got the idea. I know where it's going. I'm satisfied with that, but I now need to focus on this new idea before this one drops out of my head forever.
Yeah.
And I end up with just so many. I've got notebook after notebook after notebook full of random. I started actually compiling some of my stuff. I started creating a what I called a book of incomplete thoughts
Yeah. Okay.
because I have so many of those. Well, I'll start something and I'll have an idea on something, and then I'll never follow through on it. Or actually do anything with it. I mean, there were so many ideas for Dungeons and Dragons adventures,
Yeah.
which I planned out, and I've got so many notebooks where I've obviously started this and given ideas to this, blah 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 blah, and they're never going to come to anything. We're never going to get time to do it. We're never going to be in the mood to do it, or anything like that. It's just these ideas. I thought, okay, so all right, I'll start turning these into short stories. So I started fleshing out different characters and doing more to this and that and the other, and then suddenly a new idea. By doing that, it'll spark some new weird wacky idea, and I'll just focus on that, and then focus on the next thing and next thing. Ideally, like I say, I could do with someone who could be doing this writing for me while I'm coming up with the ideas. Does that make sense?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
Because
It does indeed.
I'd be happy to co-author something as long as sort of I get some sort of credit for it because it's like, okay, I've got the ideas and I want this to sort of become something, but I just I can't sit there and write something. And I think, like I say, it's probably ADHD where attention span is a thing. Um, Ironically, like I say, working.
You need a creative writing expert, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Ironically, like I say, because
Yeah.
I've worked for years um, in a supermarket, and it's monotonous work. It's so mind-numbing that I can do it without putting any thought to it whatsoever. So my mind goes to other places, and that's where the stupid ideas come from. Because this stuff's buzzing through my head while I'm getting paid to do a job that's ridiculously easy, but I can be creative while I'm doing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, the physical work, like I say, I find is it keeps me so that I'm not falling asleep. Because like I say, sitting at a desk doing a desk job, I will fall asleep. I'm sort of gonna sort of. Someone says, "Oh, it's cold in here. I'll turn the heating up." I'm gone. That's it. That's me. That's done. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes, I do. Yeah.
and like I say, doing the physical work, like I say, it keeps me active, and it's kept me. I wouldn't say it's kept me sane, because keeping me sane is contrary to the actual idea of having stupid ideas, really. Um,
Yeah.
but it kept me alert. But now I'm getting to a point where I can't do that sort of work anymore. I
Yeah.
physically, my knees won't take it, and um, like I say, sciatica. I've had sciatica for 20 plus years. So
Yes.
consequently, because of that, I've had to bend with my knees and obviously lift with my legs to look after my back. By doing
And
that,
that buggers your kneecaps
by
up.
doing that, my joints are now completely screwed. My joints, I've always
Yeah.
had like bad joints anyway, but my joints are now completely screwed on my right side in particular. Um, I've got plantar fasciitis. I've got like bursitis, where it looks like I've got a second bloody kneecap. It's like the gel that protects the gel that cushions your knee has basically moved from where it's supposed to be, and now it looks like I've got a kneecap below my kneecap.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. I am
and
aware of this.
and it's sometimes it's a little bit painful to kneel on. Other times it's uncomfortable to kneel on, so I've avoided kneeling on it as much as I
Yep.
can over the last year and a half. But now my other knee's starting to uh, screw up, and the knee that's got the bursitis is the joint is now so screwed that half the time when I'm sat down, or if I kneel down or crouch down, my knee locks and it sort of doesn't want to straighten.
Ow.
And again, it's not necessarily painful, but it's really uncomfortable, and it's not good for my joints to keep clicking it like that. So
No, they're not really designed to do that, to be
yeah,
honest.
and of course, like I say, working in the supermarket, it's hard floors. It's bad for your feet, bad for your joints, bad for your ankles, bad for everything. And I can't do that anymore. I just can't. I'd love to still be sort of doing that sort of work if I felt, for one thing, that I was able to do it physically, and that I was appreciated for doing the best that I could. But
Yeah.
they just started treating everyone like fucking shit. They really have. Everyone's expendable. Everyone's expendable nowadays. Everyone who joined the company was always on 0 hour contracts. I was one of the last ones on full time contract. And I think because I was still on a full time contract, I think they regarded me as being a bit of a burden because they couldn't do much about either getting rid of me, they couldn't do anything really about um, cutting my hours, and they really said, "Oh, you don't know if we've got hours for you for this." It's like, well, this is my job and this is what I can do, and there are so many things obviously that I was struggling to do there for various reasons. I, like I say, they wouldn't ever say it, but I'm sure they were glad to be rid of me, quite frankly. But
So
it was, but it was when
have you
they,
both have you both sort of walked away and
I walked away, I
you've
walked out of
agreed?
them, I walked out of them because basically, um, you were getting treated worse and worse and worse by management for one thing, and then the straw came along that broke the camel's back, and one manager in particular just did something that I basically had a nervous breakdown. I basically had a nervous
Yeah.
breakdown, and it's like, fuck this shit. And I walked out. I just walked out. I just like, I can't. I'm just walking out. I didn't necessarily tell anyone. It's like I clocked out, just went. it was about a day and a half later that someone actually phoned up and said, "Oh, well, you're not in work." It's like, wow, you did a great fucking job noticing that. Um, but pretty much every time I did mention to someone that uh, this person had done the thing, they'd like pissed me off, and they'd done this, which had pushed me to the limit and beyond. I got a doctor's note to like sign me off for that. But every time they tried to contact me, it was this person, the person that pushed me over the edge, that was trying to contact me. And it's like, I have no interest in talking to them.
Yeah.
They have wronged me. They know they've done it. I don't want to hear from this person. And yeah, no, I just fucking just distance myself, completely blocked off from them. It's like, yeah, I'm not going back to that shit. I can't go back to that shit. I gave them 16, 17 years of my life where I went in, worked as hard as I could every fucking day, and they would favour the people who stand around and fucking chat shit and stop other people from working over me for fuck knows what, because they're more entertaining and funnier. And it's like, I used to go in, I used to like, be quite light-hearted and like enjoy the job and try and make people smile and laugh, because if you make people smile and laugh, it makes you smile and laugh, even if you didn't really feel like that originally in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, it's been a long while since I felt a lot of laughter in that place, and it just became
It's
harder
not
and
good,
harder.
is it?
No, it was becoming very, very toxic. There were only really two members of management, I'd say, that I really trusted to actually be looking out for me rather than just looking out for themselves or the company's interest, or looking for a promotion or shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone was out for themselves, and obviously, when he said something in confidence to one of the managers, it's like, is this in confidence? Because I bet they're telling every other fucker around the fucking store about this shit. But don't say
Mm.
anything. It's just the trust was broken. You know what I mean? It's like, it's,
Once it's gone, that's it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Once it's gone,
yeah.
it's it.
But yeah, there are some very toxic people in this world these days. And
So let me.
toxic again is a word I really hate to use, but it fits in this instance because I mean, one of the managers, I mean, she really properly fucking was gaslighting people. Me, not just me, but everyone else. She used to be our manager on our department. She then she got promoted to the second in charge of the store, basically. But it would always be like a case of like, you'd have a problem. There'd be something that was a problem around your job, and it's like, okay, you go to her and say, oh, this is a problem, this is a problem, and she'll be like, that's not a problem. No, don't be silly. You shouldn't be worrying about that. That's us to worry about. You shouldn't be worrying about that. It's like, I've brought this to you because it's something that annoys me. It is a problem to me, and it shouldn't be happening. It is a problem, and you're telling me it's not a problem. It's like, fine, okay, so okay, so in the future, it's like, right, okay, next time there's a problem, I don't go to her. I don't tell her. I say, there's no point, because she'll just say it's not a problem. She says she'll sort it out, and then nothing happens about it, and it just keeps happening. So then things
Mm.
build up, they build up, they build up, they build up, and suddenly you have a breaking point again where it's like, okay, I need to fucking get this up because I've been holding this back for too long. This is a problem. And she's like, oh, well, you should have come to me soon. You should have told me if there's a problem. It's like, fuck you. Gaslighting the fuck out of us. I didn't tell her to fuck off, but
Yeah.
it's like, you're telling us to come to you with a problem, but we come to you with a problem, and you do fuck all about it, and you tell us it's not a problem, and we shouldn't be worrying about it. So what the fuck do we do? And she's probably like, she's probably going to be playing fast track to famous, like, top upper management, because she's fucking fantastic at that shit. Really are. But there's too many like that there. There's just too many like that there.
Finding a good one is difficult.
And I don't think it could be like that in all the other stores, because people would be walking out left, right, and fucking centre. The turnaround in staff in this particular store was quite phenomenal. There were people leaving all the time, and people who've been there for like 20 years were being treated like shit, being pushed to have early retirement, all that sort of crap. I was not going to make it another 20 years in that place, because
No.
I'd be in a fucking wheelchair in 10. if I stayed there.
You do have to look after yourself in these things.
Yeah, the rate it was deteriorating. It's Mr. Sully!
Hello, my
Hey!
my
Sully!
friends.
How we doing, bud?
I'm alright.
Jolly good.
Warm night, warm night.
Just to let you know, we are on a stream, so please feel free to fucking swear.
Don't fucking swear. Don't fucking swear.
Will you make your fucking mind up?
Don't fucking swear, you wanker. Arsehole.
How are you both? You well?
How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm just playing a bit of Search and Destroy.
Oh yeah, I'm playing that as well.
Okay.
We're playing that as well. Except it's actually like, you know, search for like bits that need power washing.
Dirt.
Yeah.
Search and Destroy Grime Edition.
Yes.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
This is our grime and punishment. Oh dear.
Boom! Ninja defuse. Get up, mush. There's still people in round.
I'll take it. I'll take a stab in the dark and say that's Rainbow Six.
No.
No, okay. What
Call
game
of
is it?
Duty.
I didn't know there was Search and Destroy in Call of Duty. I guess I probably just not played that. I guess then.
Yeah, mate. I've thoroughly enjoyed Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it's just because I love searching for things and then destroying them.
I'm a bit wounded. I'm a bit wounded. My PlayStation's not working now. I just started playing that first Descendant.
Okay. I found I got bored of that very quickly. It's okay. It's like I say, it's good that it's free. It's good that it's free to play, but I did get bored of that quite quickly. And I lost interest in the story of that quite quickly. It's more to the point. And when you lose interest of what the fuck's going on, it's just a case of why am I playing this game?
Search and Destroy used to be, Sully, you know T-Dog, don't you?
No.
You don't? Okay, he was an old friend of mine. Old friend of mine. One of the first guys I actually met on Xbox Live. It was just, we used to play Search and Destroy with him back on the original Black Ops, and on World at War. World at War? Yeah, World at War. I think. Can't remember. It was one of the earlier ones, definitely.
Yeah.
But we used to play because it's that little bit. It's got a harder edge than where the main Call of Duty game everybody's so squishy.
Yeah. Well, I say that. You say everyone's squishy. I'm playing hardcore.
Okay.
So he's naked. He's naked, is what he's saying. He's playing naked, is what he's saying.
So 1 bullet kills.
Okay, I didn't hear a denial on that either.
You're a bad person. Oh dear. Right, hang on a minute. Anyway, we were talking about top 3 Johnny Depp movies.
I gave
and
you my
Sully,
top
feel free to chirp. You've given me your top 3. Feel free to chirp me when you feel like it. For me, top 3 in no particular order would have to be Sleepy Hollow. I enjoyed Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean was really good.
Yes, it was. Yes, yeah. And but I wouldn't put it among some of his best stuff. I think. Oh well, Sleepy Hollow. I'd probably go. Oh God, I've lost it.
I can throw you my 3 favourite rapid.
Hang on a minute. Hang on 1 second. My favourite is The Ninth Gate. I
See,
love that movie.
I enjoyed that film, but again, it's a film like I say I've watched, and it's like, okay, I've watched it. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I did enjoy it. It
Yeah.
was nice and weird.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It's just
Yeah.
it's a little bit kooky.
I mean,
And I think I would.
possibly if I were to watch it today, I might enjoy it more than I did back then. But I did still quite enjoy it even at the time. So yeah.
Actually, I know what the other one is, and it's for a particular part of the movie. It's actually the Alice in Wonderland when he was
The Mad
The
Hatter.
car.
The
Yeah.
Mad Hatter, and they're just about to go into battle, and he's walking along with that bloody great broadsword, and he's quoting the Jabberwock,
The Jabberwocky. Yeah.
Jabberwocky. Yeah,
'Twas
quoting the
brillig,
Jabberwocky.
and the slithy toes did gyre
The
and
gyre
gimble.
and gimbal
Yeah,
in the wave.
yeah. Yes, yeah. I've done my own version of that. So it's like, "'Twere brilliant." Again, it's Paul Whitehouse. "'Twere brilliant, and the slimy toads did gather and gamble." Yeah, which was nice. Um,
Which was nice. Yeah. Come on then, Sally. Your top three.
Ninth Gate, Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. How can I
love
forget
Sweeney
that?
Todd. It's
I've not
quality.
I've not seen that one, so that might be one of my favourites if I'd ever actually watched it, but I haven't, so I didn't, and I haven't, and I can't.
Musical. It's fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
See that?
quality.
And you
I
get
think that
you
might
get
be
Alan Rickman
And
singing.
Edward Scissorhands.
Alan Rickman's in it. Alan Rickman's in it. Fine, I'm going to watch it then. Fuck it. I didn't know Alan Rickman was in it. Otherwise, I would have actually probably watched it by
Yeah.
now. But no, I think one of the things that put me off that was the musical aspect, where I'm not always that into musical stuff. But it doesn't mean that I don't necessarily like some musicals. It's just, there are some that I have enjoyed. It's just a case of they don't advertising something as a musical does not draw me into watching a film.
No.
Because I've seen
But
some musicals that have had some
Sweeney
terrible.
Todd is fantastic.
I've seen some musicals that have had some terrible bloody songs in it, which have really drawn me out at the moment. But one of my favourite musicals of the ones I've seen, which is quite few, 'cause I'm a dentist. If you can, do you know the film from the song?
No.
It's Little shop of horrors,
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah.
little shop of
Yeah.
horrors. Yeah, just Steve Martin as the dentist is fucking insane. So funny.
And Bill, is it Bill Murray?
Oh
who's
yeah, he was one of the. I always forget he's one of the dental patients. Yeah. He's like, oh,
Yeah, he wants
I want
root
more.
canal without
I want
without
more.
anaesthetic.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, Bill Murray in anything is good, except like, well, no, actually, he was good in The Dead Men Don't Die. The Dead Don't Die, but the film was fucking bad. It wasn't that he was bad; it's that the film, the script, the concept was pretty bad.
It was
clar-
flawed, as
For
they say.
clarification. Yeah. It felt like it was trying to be Fargo, but it felt like it was trying to, like, be a comedy, but it just wasn't funny, and none of the jokes were landing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, one of those. It's just like, this is very flat and very, 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 very. Some people love it.
Yeah.
People are welcome to love it. But even like I say, even if it is like, designed to be bad as a homage to Plan 9 from Outer Space, that's, it's like advertise it as, being like something along those lines, rather than like just make it out to be one thing and then let people believe it's a serious flaming proper zombie film, and then it turned out to be just some weird fucking bullshit that doesn't really make any sense or make anyone care about it.
Well, we don't care most of the time about the damn things, so.
Yeah.
I've just finished Top Up Mod.
Very nice. But to be honest with you, Sally, it's what we expect from you now these days. It's no real surprise for us when you go top of the board. Well, yeah.
Top of the
that's what
morning to you,
happens.
Sully. Top of the morning to you.
Well, you understand the premise that, like, the score stuff in Search and Destroy, don't you?
Yes.
I went 13 for 6.
Fucking hell. Okay, where the bloody hell's that? Are the air brakes? No, they're not done yet. It says that's the air brake. Okay.
Oh.
Where's the handbrake?
It's tough. Yeah.
We're gonna join you. I'm gonna message you earlier, Albie. Actually,
All right.
I've seen you were playing Modern Warfare.
I largely played that split screen with Shell because she loves shooting things. I'm sure you're shocked by this revelation that she loves shooting things.
I'm really not.
She doesn't strike me as an aggressive or violent sort of person in any way, shape, or form. Oh dear. So yeah, I don't really play.
Oh yes.
I don't really play that one online, but I have played a lot of it. Well, actually, the only time I played it online was obviously when we played it online that one time, and I was fucking terrible at it.
No, because we've played normal COD Online together as well.
We played Black Ops 6 and
6 together, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we played any of the others, but definitely 6. But we played Modern Warfare one time when we were doing against the AI, and I was just dying all the fucking time. I was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That said, it was the two of us against about 8 or 10 AI or however many you put in there.
Yeah, and we smashed it.
We smashed it. No, I remember.
Well,
I remember it differently.
I smashed.
I remember it differently.
Albie, we won.
We won, but it wasn't anything that I was doing that caused that to come about. I don't think.
You were there for support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supporting
Moral support.
I was supporting the underside of the flaming bridge because they'd put me in flaming concrete shoes and
what
built me into it.
Put it shipment ton.
Oh god, yeah.
Shipment. So I love shipment.
Put like 10 bots on, and it was me and Albie against all these
No,
bots.
the one we did was like the big one, which is like got the open trench area and the playground at the top. That was one of the ones we did, wasn't it? But,
yeah, we did a few different maps.
I can't remember if we did shipment, but yeah, shipment I love. But when there's an even team, 6 against 6, I really enjoy it. When it's like 2 against 10 in a small map like that, just dead.
Finally, my PlayStation started working.
What was the problem with it? Was it overheating?
No, servers went down.
Oh, okay.
All PlayStation's been down for yeah.
For a year, Jesus.
For about what time is it now? Mine's been down for about 24 hours.
Jesus. Refund.
That's bad.
Refund.
You should be entitled to something. But I'm sure they can wangle it in such a way where they don't have to give you anything.
Oh, they won't, will they? Come on.
How to...
Go to Lumberyard in Vespers.
Where?
We're speaking... Yeah, we're on with Solo on that earlier as well.
Oh, yeah.
They play Core. I don't like Core.
No, everything's a bit too chewy.
Yeah. And they lived
But I
happily
went
ever after.
33 for 5.
Sorry, my
On a
joke
map
went
I've
over
never
everyone's head
played. Yeah, literally a map I've never played, and I went 33 for 5 on a nice cheeky 24 kill streak.
there.
Very nice.
See, my kill death in Call of Duty, it sort of evened out quite frequently around about 1.14. That seems to be what I have crop up more than anything else. Is about 1.14
Oh, nice,
KD.
man.
So it's above 1, which is a good thing. Occasionally it's a little bit lower. Sometimes I'll get like a random round where I'll have like 3.5 or something stupid like that when I've been in one of the close combat ones with a shotgun and just rinsed everyone. But that doesn't happen very often. Yeah.
Mine at the moment is about 1.4.
What, your overall? Okay, I'd have thought it'd be much. I'd have thought it'd be much higher than that, knowing how good you are at the games.
No, mate, because I fuck about.
And then find out.
And I end up not taking shit seriously.
Yeah. Depending on what mode we're doing, what mode we're playing, like I say, it will depend on how I play. Because if it's like all about kills, then I'll probably knuckle down and try and find somewhere which is a bit more secure. But if it's all about trying to cap points, I'll sometimes put myself in harm's way just to try and get points for the team. You know what I mean? Which then affects...
Operation Human Shield.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm not really a very good team player usually.
Does not play well with others.
Now, we disagree.
I think he plays bloody well with the rest of us.
Yeah. And as long as he's not against us, he's fine. Yeah.
I'd love to have a game of COD against you.
You have had games of these games against us, and you fucking destroyed us, or at least me. Certainly.
No, that was Siege. That was Siege when everyone were getting pissed off with me, if you remember.
Possibly, but I'm sure I played something against you.
Seems like it's just gonna be.
I'm sure I played something like that where I was on the other side to you, and you absolutely fucking destroyed me.
Yeah, Siege. We played against each other on a Thursday.
Was it just Siege?
With complete Xbox.
Okay, it may have been that then. Yeah.
Because they ended up saying this is just going to end up being a Sully highlight reel, innit?
And
Sully, not Sully. It's the old Sully, not Sully.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
wrong with that?
Yeah.
It wasn't Titanfall, was it?
If a good player is a good player.
Have you played any of the Titanfall ones? Did you ever play any?
I've never played.
Okay, so it wasn't that then. No, I just remember it being a different game, but I know that I did get absolutely wrecked on Rainbow Six Siege because I'm not a good Rainbow Six Siege player. The gameplay style doesn't really suit me for one thing, but I did feel bad. I did feel bad that the only person I actually killed was Velge, and I did do him in about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny because the last time I was playing Titanfall with the complete Xbox crew, every single round, the first person I would encounter from the opposite team was Velge, and I killed him pretty much every single time I encountered him on that first encounter. It was just like, I'm really not doing this deliberately. I'm sorry. We just obviously end up in the same place each time. We're obviously just thinking the same way all the time here.
Thinking same yeah.
But the thing is, like I say, I know that Velge is probably a better player at these games than I am. It happened that this just kept happening. It's just quite funny. But I think he probably hates. I think he probably hates me.
No, he's far too much of a nice guy to hate anybody.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Although he did, he and I kind of fell out when there was that coming together at the British Grand Prix between Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen. Yeah.
Well, I'd have fallen out with anyone that thought Lewis Hamilton wouldn't right.
Right, we're gonna have a falling out here. We're gonna have a falling out here, Sally.
I'm a Max Verstappen fan.
We're gonna have a falling out here, Sally. Sorry, it's just gonna happen. We're not friends anymore. You can't be. Look, I don't think that anyone should fall out over the things that happened there. They were determined in the steward's office, and there was a penalty laid. But my opinion, Max knew, he could see that Lewis was trying to get past. He knew how desperate he was going to get past, and it is possible to go side by side through that corner. Max didn't want to give away that corner, so he turned in.
Yeah.
And he does this to people,
and
then he blames. He does this to people, and then he blames them for it.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah. Max.
Point, if you know he's gonna.
Max is an amazing driver.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah, Max is an amazing driver, He's really fast and he is really competitive, but he's his own worst enemy sometimes because while he has this reputation where it's like, people know it's like not to fuck with him, there are certain people he knows will still race him hard and fuck with him to the same level, and he doesn't give them any quarter either. In which case, you're going to have an accident, and that's what kept happening. He needs to chill. He needs to chill out sometimes because, like I say, he probably is the best driver out there nowadays. Don't get me wrong. What he's done with that Red Bull this last season, that Red Bull shouldn't have been winning races at that late stage of the season, and yet he still was there or thereabouts. McLaren kept dropping the ball, Ferrari kept dropping the ball, Mercedes on occasion were competitive, but the rest of the time they either dropped the ball or they were not fast enough anyway. But Max should have lost that championship last year, and he didn't.
The one thing that I think Red Bull have had over anybody else, and just my view, feel free to tell me that.
Adrian Newey?
Consistency.
Yeah, also Adrian Newey.
Also Adrian Newey, yeah.
Yeah.
The fastest car and the best driver, he were gonna win.
Yeah, like I say, they didn't towards the end of the season. They didn't have the fastest car, and yet they were still pulling out the results because they were just getting things right. They were making the right decisions. They were doing the right things, and they put themselves in the right place at the right time. And Max, even towards the end of the season, it actually felt like he mellowed a little bit because there were a couple of occasions where he was in a car that wasn't as fast as the other cars, and he didn't fight them for everything that was worth. He let them go for the sake of actually getting the best result from his race, rather than slowing them both down in a big battle that he was probably going to lose anyway. And that felt like he almost matured a little bit towards the end of the season.
Yes, I agree.
Like I say, if he hadn't had quite the lead in the championship he had, it may have been a different situation. Don't get me wrong. If he had been so close in the championship,
he's not my favourite driver.
No? Do I dare ask? Is it Stroll? Is it Stroll?
Carlos Sainz.
I love Carlos Sainz. He's always been competitive with every teammate he's been in, and he was beaten by Max. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't a million miles off, and he was there scoring points, and they were both doing well in that car. And I think Carlos Sainz was unfairly overlooked when they did the promotions and shit like that. But like I say, Carlos Sainz, whereas he's got a bit more maturity to his driving and maybe not quite as much speed as Max. Max has like the potential and the speed.
It must run him family with Sainz though, because his dad's a rally driver.
I wasn't a big fan of Carlos Sainz, but I did respect him because I was a big McRae fan, and obviously when they were teammates, it got a little bit sketchy. But like I say, I respect Sainz because he's got the right mentality for a lot of the stuff. Whereas Max, if Max could rein his temperament and his attitude in a bit, he would do himself no end of favours, both in his results and also people liking him a bit more. Because I get, like I say, his fan base love him, and obviously, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's that attitude that turns a lot of people off from him. Because where he pushes the limit of every regulation to the absolute extreme in order to succeed, it's like, okay, that's competitive edge, that's competitive spirit, but you don't need to do that in order to be regarded as the best driver. I mean, look what he's done in that car. That car, in anyone else's hands, no one else can drive the damn thing because it's such a flaming monster and such a flaming unwieldy fucking piece of crap.
I think he had a good teammate as well, did Sainz this year, to be fair.
Yeah.
I like Charles Leclerc as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Albon's quite regarded well, although, like I say, his stock got a little bit ruined at the end of last season with Carl Pinto. But like I say, Carlos Sainz has some good teammates like Lando Norris. He generally gets on really well with his teammates, but he didn't get on with Verstappen, and that's again the temperament. It's about the temperament because many of his teammates just either they're friendly with him and they get destroyed, or they just don't get on at all and get destroyed. But like I say, I think Carlos Sainz is a fantastic human being, and what he did last season was incredible, given that he knew that he was already on the way out of Ferrari. He really had a great season, and I look forward to seeing
Yeah,
what he's going to.
definitely.
I hope he and Williams can push forward from where they are at the moment, because he deserves a good car and he deserves something that's going to be sort of giving him some reasonable competitive results. But yeah, Lance Stroll needs to fuck off. He really needs to go.
He can stroll on.
You'd
Yeah.
think he'd be tired of everyone just ragging on him constantly. It's like it's only you and your dad that want you here, and sometimes I get the impression that he doesn't want to be there himself. Tell your dad to go and do one. It's like I'm going to go and like work in McDonald's or some fucking shit like that. You know what I mean? Not that I'd want to be served by him at McDonald's, because no. Uh,
No, the chips wouldn't get there hot. They'd be cold because
yeah,
they'd be too slow.
slow service. Yeah, yeah.
And the chip little bucket will be upside down in the bag.
Yep.
Yeah, but that happens in every McDonald's.
Which is why he'd be perfect there, but we also don't want it.
Regardless of who works there.
I was going to say, it's what you get in every McDonald's, it's what we expect, but it's also not what we want, which is why we wouldn't want to be served by him in McDonald's.
Because he's what we deserve.
I also just wouldn't want to go to McDonald's.
Nah, Kentucky's well there.
It's been so many years. It has been many years since I've been on a McDonald's.
I literally, I couldn't probably throw a stone to a McDonald's from my house.
Retro thrusters.
Not
So the old thrusters then is what we need to sort of clean.
the old thrusters, the retro thrusters.
Retro
yes.
ones, yeah.
What map are you on that now?
Well, one of the Warhammer ones.
Yeah, last time I spoke to you, you were doing Shrek.
Right, yes, yeah. I do
And
like
Shrek loved it.
They've giggity rare. We've got like a Wallace and Gromit one coming sometime soon. Side armor.
Cracking
belts.
DLC.
Cracking DLC, Grommets.
Apparently that new Wallace and Gromit were mint.
It was really good.
I didn't watch it.
It's not got Peter Sallis in it because he passed away, sadly.
Yeah, he passed away.
Really, have you
Oh,
passed
sorry.
away?
The guy who was the voice
He was in Last of
of
Summer Wine.
Wallace.
Used to be in Last of Summer Wine.
Is it that fella that died recently?
He died a few years back, a couple of years back, but
Oh right. What be what I'm thinking of then?
They're using, I think, for the voice, they're using the same guy that they use for the video games, who is
from what I heard of it, I
indistinguishable.
was going to say, from what I heard of it, it did sound very, very much alike him. It's just a shame.
Underside
Like-
armor.
It's
Like
the bit
how
I'm
they
doing at
use
the moment.
Luke Skywalker for the Batman games.
And the way they've used what's his name to do Harrison Ford in the recent Indiana Jones game.
That was
North, was it North or the other one? Was it Nolan
no,
North
it
or the other one?
wasn't Nolan North. It was
Trey-
Troy Baker,
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Yeah.
Trey Bentos. Yeah, Trey
Trey
Bentos.
Bentos. Is that finished now? It's finished. It's finished. It's done.
It's finished.
It's finished. C'est fini.
We have finished the ship.
Ça se fait complète. Wow, that was almost
Oh
a sentence.
God. Nearly.
Right, where the hell is that? Yo, that's a big fella, innit?
Hello, big boy.
Cause my PlayStation's back on. I can play last.
Flinch,
I'm
flinch,
playing
flinch.
Last Descendant.
Flinch, 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 flinch.
At moment, I'm doing I'm playing 3 games on my PS.
At the same time.
One of them I know Tony. I know. One of them Tony will say, "Yeah, it's fair play. I'm playing that. It's a good game."
Yeah.
which is Gran Turismo 7.
Well, yeah, okay.
I've got that on the PS4 Pro, and I liked it, but it's not enough to actually make me want to actually plug in my PS4 Pro or ever actually switch that thing on again.
We'll mine it together out
I was a bit put off. I was a bit put off by the fact that you had to basically sort of go through the cards to the beginning of the game, and actually like you couldn't choose your way through the game. I used to love in the old ones where you could buy a car and you could use it as often as you like, in as many series as you like, and repurpose it for as many different things as you like, and basically choose your own way through the game. Whereas that, it just said you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. It's like I don't like games which make you do that shit, which is why I've not really got on with many of the recent Forza Horizon campaigns. Not Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport campaigns, I should say, because it's like basically it's like, oh, here's a car, you've got to use this. It's like complete that, otherwise you're not going to go anywhere. It's like I'd like to be able to like drive a car that I want to drive. But yeah, back in the day of the original, like the first 3 or 4 Gran Turismos, I was really enthused by a lot of the cars they had in there. It's like, again, lots of cars I loved in there. They're cars you don't see in these racing games anymore. All the cars you see are now like, there's about 40 or 50 BMWs, there's about 30 or 40 Ferraris, there's about 20 Lamborghinis. And it's like, well, when you've got like 500 cars, that's already taken up about 20% of your flaming car listing. And I'm not interested in Ferraris, BMWs, Audis, Lamborghinis.
And where's my Lancia Stratos?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, I like, one of my favourite cars of all time is the Lamborghini
PLP50.
The PLP50. I mean, it's fantastic. Saying that on like Forza Horizon 3, yeah, I made that do some stupid fucking jumps by making it stupidly powerful. It was really funny. But the Lamborghini Countach is one of my favourite cars of all time. It was on my it was on posters on my wall all the way through the 80s. Love that car. But beyond that, I don't really have a lot of passion for supercars and sports cars anymore, because they all just look and sound the same. They all have such boring names. They're all indistinguishable from the previous model of the same car. I find it hard to be enthusiastic about it anymore. If they
It's
had,
like one of my favourite car sounds like a lawnmower.
yeah,
I like all Mazdas with rotaries.
yeah,
Yeah,
if they had
787B.
if they had lots of like 80s and 90s and possibly even earlier, just standard like D class and C class cars that you could upgrade to however you want, I would enjoy that, because they seem to focus more on the supercars and the top end cars these days. Because I used to love in the Gran Turismo games getting something like one of those stupid flaming Japanese boxes and making it go where no box should ever actually go. You know what I mean? Seeing that on a grid with like Audis and BMWs and beating it was just fucking hilarious to me. I love that shit. And I'm a bit gutted because I've been a Toyota Yaris owner for quite a few years now. I've had like 3 or 4 of them, in, upgrading to the next model when one needs replacing. I'm pissed off that you can't drive a Toyota Yaris in pretty much any video game anymore. It's so hard to find any series that actually will allow you to play just a simple car like that. You know what I mean?
Forza Horizon 5.
It's in.
Yeah.
Is it in there now? Is it? Because it wasn't before.
Yeah.
There's a Yaris in there, yeah.
Is it the GR Yaris?
It might be the GR Yaris, yeah.
I remember one of the Forza Motorsport games. I think it was probably like 3, maybe 4, maybe 2. I remember sort of making a stupidly overpowered, just a standard Yaris road car, souping it up to have so much power. Bear in mind it's front-wheel drive, so all the power, all the steering, and most of the braking goes through the front wheels. Putting stupid amounts of power into that thing and having it just turn into a bonfire every time I went into a corner was fucking hilarious to me. I love that shit. Seeing the thing just fucking choking, it's like, am I supposed to be turning or accelerating? I don't understand. It's just, I love that shit. But you can't do that with many of these cars because they just don't include as many interesting, or cars that are interesting to me. I get it. Like I say, many people say just only want to see the latest fast supercar or whatever, or hypercar or whatever. But they're so generic these days that none of them really have any personality to me anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
Back when
They're
they were only
starting to get some more of the sort of the low spec cars, but they're also doing like the little interesting cars. So the peels and stuff.
yeah.
You got the Mazda AZ1, which is this tiny little rotary, tiny little thing in D
Hmm.
class, and you can soup it all the way to S2.
How high can
Uh,
you upgrade the Sinclair C5 to?
I think you can do about 40 miles an hour when you push it off a cliff.
Oh, if they had that in a game, that would be fucking hilarious. They won't because they'll never be able to get a license for that. I don't think, or never even bother to want to
Oh
try it.
God, no, definitely
But that
not.
would be fucking hilarious.
yeah,
Fellas,
Mister,
and
I'm at the end of my wick. I'm afraid
yeah, that's
I'm
cool.
going to
Yeah,
have to stop. So, but do you know what, Sully? It was lovely having you been here, mate.
yeah. Well, I'd seen you were on. I need to start joining you more often. To be fair.
yeah, yeah,
You're always welcome. You know that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Friday evenings, if you're free at all, we've started doing like a quiz show, and we've replaced sorry not sorry the silly something thing with like just a quiz show thing for the last couple of weeks. We'll probably be doing a bit more of that. If you're interested in joining us, you are free to do so.
yeah,
Basically, just requires the use of Microsoft Excel or something that can use and edit Microsoft Excel documents because it's like a bunch of
do
quizzes
I
in there.
have do I have
Do you have
anything
a
to get me?
Do you have a laptop?
No, but I genuinely think I've got Microsoft Excel on my phone.
I was going
You
to
probably do.
I was going to discuss with Tony because there was another thing I was planning, which is another sort of quiz which doesn't involve Excel, where I was looking at um, an app for Discord called
Yes.
Buzzard, where you can actually like, use devices to like buzz in to answer questions. And I think, like I say, I want to do a quiz broadcast like that as well at some point.
That sounds like a giggle.
Yeah,
You'd do that. I'm
but
gonna
that's
have to go.
for another time. But
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. You go and take
Yeah.
care, bud.
Yeah, of course, of course. When the pair of you two,
Yeah,
please, look after
Yeah,
yourselves.
yeah, will do.
I will see you all later.
Yeah, catch
yeah,
you soon,
man.
bud.
Take it
Hopefully.
easy, Mister T.
I always do. I
And
try anyway.
since we've completed the power washing thing, I'm going to close off my stream and probably go and watch something for a bit. But Mr. Sully, if you have no idea what a
Yeah,
Sinclair C5 is, I recommend googling it and having a laugh and seeing how funny that would be if you had one of those in Forza Horizon or Gran Turismo.
right.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah,
It's powered by a washing machine engine.
all right.
Washing machine motor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's I always like using that BMW i7.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Very similar to the what you call it, the Peel in size and spec, except it's got the
Yeah,
wheels the other way around, doesn't it? It's got yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I do enjoy that one. That's quite funny. But yes.
Guys, take it easy.
Yep.
I'm checking out, and it's
Yep.
nothing. It's not you. It's just my body telling me. So
Yeah, man.
Your body does that to you. My brain does that to me. So yeah, I get the same thing as well.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you go and take care, bud.
My my brain won't let me check out.
Mine will always start firing up when I try and switch it off and go to sleep. It's always when I say try and lay down to go to sleep. Suddenly the neurons start firing, and my brain starts going at 100 miles an hour, and I then spend 2 hours going, for fuck's sake, just shut up, you stupid bloody piece of bloody sinew and god damn it. Yeah,
Yeah.
brains are fun. Brains are fun.
Yeah,
Debatable.
if you keep them in a jar, people think you're strange.
Oh, you just reminded me of a Steve Martin movie, The Man with Two Brains.
Yeah, man with two brains. Yeah,
Oh dear.
definitely.
We'll have to do a favourite Steve Martin thing next time we're on.
Good
Tangent.
idea. Yeah, we'll
But
give
yeah,
it a go.
we'll catch you soon, bud.
Take it easy,
Take it
fellas.
easy.
Everyone take
Speak
care.
to you later. Okay. Yes.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.